Welcome to podcast number 15. Today, I'm excited because we have a special guest with us. He's extremely educated in men's health issues. His business niche is men over 40 and the health issues that they deal with. So many men experience life changes once they hit 40 and again at 50 and beyond. And men don't usually vocalize their concerns about their health or emotional problems that we have, right? As women, we tend to talk to our friends and, we share everything. But guys are a little bit different. So our guest today has some answers and some insight on the many health issues that you guys deal with every day. So without further ado, I want to welcome our men's health expert / guru, our very own Christian Palmer, or as you know him, King Christian.
I don't know about all that guru stuff, but
come on now. But today we want to discuss men's health issues. It's an extremely important topic. Christian is extremely versed in it, and we're going to bring you some great information. So I want to get right into it. I'm going to interview Christian today. So number one question that I have is, what got you into nutrition coaching? And, tell us a little bit, tell the people that are listening, what sparked your interest and what motivated you to choose this line of work?
Very, very good question. So,
thank you.
My interest in nutrition specifically started when I was a teenager. My journey into exercise and fitness started at that age of 14 years old. I was at my dad's house. I was online. I came across a picture of a bodybuilder, and I thought, I want to look just like that. So literally that day, I started picking up weights.
Who was it? Who was the picture?
Garrett Downing. He
Okay.
was a IFBB pro in the 90s. And my brother had
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Garrett Downing. My brother had an old set of weights, like the ones that were filled with sand, and you had to screw the ends on to keep the bells in place, or the plates in place. And I went in there, I started doing curls and push-ups, the good old beach muscles. And I also read about nutrition. I started eating every 2 hours that day. So that's how the journey into fitness started. Played sports as a kid, but more importantly, how my passion for nutrition came to be. So my mom was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And Italian mom, love her to death, amazing cook, great woman.
She is a great woman.
And when that happened, I wanted to help her. Being that I was into fitness myself, I thought, I have to be, there's got to be something I can figure out that'll help her live a healthier life. That, it's what I enjoy doing. So started looking things up about diabetes, about eating right, and simple things, eating more vegetables, exercising, consuming less sugar. And I started to give her basic tips. Now, she was a little bit resistant in the beginning because I tend to be very, I don't want to say aggressive, but maybe forward, right?
No, really?
I suggest things and I make sure I do it very often.
He's not lying, people.
Yeah. And after a while, she was like, just stop. Okay, I get it, and I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to help. So what was cool is as the years progressed and I got into nutrition, went to college, got my degree in exercise science, and then became a certified nutritionist and started to read more, I could actually help her with more applied science, like the actual science and how to, no pun intended, digest it or give it to her in a way that was digestible and easy to follow. And now she no longer needs her insulin, which is awesome. And she still makes some of the same amazing Italian dishes she's always made, but with much better options or ingredients.
Right.
So she was the reason why, once I helped her, I thought to myself, well, if I could help her, that means I can help a ton of other people.
Right.
And that gave me a feeling of fulfillment, and that led me to where I am today.
Now I have a follow-up question to that. How did your mom feel about you eating every 2 hours? What was that like?
Oh my God. In high school is when I started, right?
I'm sure it was not like, little meals either.
Well, at that point, it wasn't that much. Like I just basically ate what I could get my hands on because I wasn't buying my own groceries at 14. I didn't have a job yet. Had one soon after, but whatever chicken I could scrape up. Again, that first day that I started reading about nutrition and fitness, I went upstairs every 2 hours. My dad had baked a casserole dish of chicken, and he had a big salad in the fridge, that he would grab from throughout the day. So I ate salad and chicken every 2 hours starting that day. And at the end of the day, I heard this yell, "Christian, where's my food?" And I'm like, yeah, I ate it. And
that's pretty good. I figured as much. But so to follow up with that, what made you choose focusing on men over 40? Like what motivated you to focus on that age group? Over 40, over 50. Men that are having those midlife issues.
Great question. So men over 40, it sort of started. I would say it started when I first became a personal trainer. I worked at Equinox in Mamaroneck, New York, which is in Westchester, for any of you who don't know. And the majority of my clients were men over 40. And I had a knack for helping them because I could understand them where they were in life, the issues they were going through, meaning I've got kids, many of them are entrepreneurs or high-level CEOs. I'm busy. I don't have a lot of time to spend in the gym. What are the bare bones things I can do to become more fit without spending a ton of time either in the gym or meal prepping or whatever it was? So I had a lot of success there, built a lot of great relationships, which is one of the best parts. And I started to, just from talking to them, I always had an interest in men in general. I consider myself a very masculine man, and I like other men who are successful. I like surrounding myself with them. So these men were always very interesting to me. I would ask them tips about business, about their families, about, just even getting deeper. Like, what's it like to be the level of provider you are? Like what did it feel like when you had kids? What made you want to do that? How did you find your wife? Just all these things. How did you get involved in finance? Right. What are some good investment ideas? So I started to delve into these guys' minds because a lot of them are super smart and they're just so accomplished. And I realized that I was on the journey to become like these guys, successful in business, in a physical nature, becoming more fit. And because I had that connection, they listened to me because they knew I understand them and where they came from. And I gave them tips that also helped their families, to help them help their families, to be an example for them. Right. And these guys would give me simple goals. I want to feel better. That was always the thing. I want to feel good. Right. Like my knees, I'm 45 and I'm tired of feeling like shit, man. I get up out of bed, I'm stiff. I go on a skiing trip and I'm sore for a week after. And it's not the good sore. It's in my joints. And I can't pick my kids up because my freaking my low back is always hurting. Right. And it struck a chord in me because, I think about my dad, and he was always very active, military man, do-it-yourselfer to the T. Mm-hmm. I mean, if anything had to be done around the house, too. Oh yeah, he would do it. And it would be, Christian, come over here. I'm going to show you how to do this. You need to learn this. Changing my oil and changing boilers and electric work. And I just thought back to, okay, he's an example of what I consider a man who knows how to use his body, how to use his mind in order to accomplish tasks. Now, he also always felt very good. He didn't really have too much pain. So I wanted the same thing for these guys. And I just became passionate after helping many of them succeed in this, living a better quality of life, being able to play with their kids, go on family vacations and feel good when they took their shirt off. Right. And improve their sex life with their wife. That's a big thing. Some of the guys would tell me, like, dude, we haven't had sex. And I felt very honored that they trusted me enough to tell me these things.
Definitely. That's because it's very personal and very private for them. And one of the questions in a little bit that I want to ask you about is how, men really don't share where, I'm a woman, we share with our best BFFs, but guys, really, you guys don't do that.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the fact that they were willing to open up to me told me that there's something in me that they trust. And the evolution began, and I sought them out to help them because I had a lot of success, and we built great relationships.
What do you say to clients? Because I hear this too from female clients, but what do you say to your male clients that might be, 40 is young, 45 is young, 50 is young. I mean, depending on how you take care of yourself. But what do you say to your male clients that might be 40-somethings that say, man, I'm just getting old. It's just my lot in life. It's just how it goes. I mean, do you hear that from that age demographic?
I hear it all the time. And the first thing I say is,
Yeah, what's your response
the
to
first
that?
thing I ask them, deep down inside, do you really believe that about yourself? And they'll pause, and they'll generally say, nah, I feel like I got more in me. I don't think this is it for me.
Right.
And I'll say, that's exactly right.
It's so young.
Yeah. And, I get very direct with them. I'll say, listen, if you decide to work with me, I'm not going to allow you to accept that about yourself.
Right.
And I get right to the point. I'm not here to give you the cheerleading. Oh yeah, you're just getting old. It's all right.
Right.
Making them accept themselves as they are. No. It's you are going to be what you want to be. It's going to take work. And if you trust me, we'll get you there. But you need to accept the fact that, one, you need to believe in yourself. Two, this is going to take work. It's not going to be as easy as it was when you were 20.
Right.
All right. But if you trust me, the journey will bring you where you want it to.
So, and sort of, rolling into the next question, because it sort of builds on that. What do you say, what aspects of health do you feel, in your opinion, do most men fall short on?
What aspects of health? So,
Yeah, do you think that they fall short on, or that maybe they ignore, or they just, they don't address?
So I think one is stress management is huge. A lot of us men we do what I call suffer in silence, right? Term coined by the military. And it's, I'm fine, right? You get that statement. How you doing today? Back might be hurting, shoulder might be hurting, don't feel so good about finances. No, I'm fine, because we want to be the rock, the mountain, so that our family doesn't worry about us and we continue to produce for them, because that's our goal. So I also think that biofeedback, listening to our bodies. Again, it's the same thing, suffer in silence. Again, as men, we're taught, like when we're kids, right? You fall and scrape your knee. What do they say? Oh, just nothing. Just be quiet and keep doing what you're doing.
Keep moving.
Yeah, which I think is valuable to an extent. Right?
Exactly.
The problem happens is that when it's a potential health issue, that's when you need to listen to your body. This is the guy that doesn't get his yearly physical until 5 years later and ends up finding an issue. Oh, I'm just fine. Yeah, but you've had this pain for a while. Yeah, whatever. It'll go away. I'll just start eating salads.
Right.
That's not necessarily what they say, but, some guys do resort to simplifying things like that. And the other is connecting with other like-minded men. Now, I know that, there's a lot of men who will go out with their friends to bars, right? But I'm talking about doing activities with like-minded men. For example, I've recently got into shooting. I mean, my dad hunted when I was a kid. I've always loved guns, but I've actually finally got into actually practicing the sport myself, target shooting. And I've met a bunch of great people, really, really cool people that I've connected with quickly because we had something that we could relate to.
Right.
Yeah. And some men might be into cigars, or some men might be into, you know what I mean? Just,
right.
Or shooting again, skeet shooting. It could be hiking. It could be, building, it could be building furniture, whatever it is, but there's other men that enjoy doing whatever it is, and that there's a difference between getting involved with men who have similar mindsets to you and just going to a bar. Going to a bar is to blow off steam.
Right.
When you connect with other men, when you use your body, use your hands, when you learn a skill, you talk about aspects of life, you build a brotherhood, much like they do in the military. And then these men are who you start to rely on to, one, keep you accountable, maybe when it comes to fitness, when it comes to being a better partner for your spouse, when it comes to doing right by your kids. These men end up looking out for you. You develop, the best way I can mention it is a brotherhood. And these guys become your friends, your brothers, and you share an experience in life that is unlike others.
Right. Maybe you click with somebody so you could say, hey, I'm having this issue, or this is something that's happening in my life, or, sometimes being able to talk about issues and problems is half the battle of solving them or feeling better about something. So, I know a lot of guys, they have a lot of like sports teams now too, like guys that were basketball players in college or football or whatever. They have like pickup leagues that you can play. Hockey players get on the ice a couple times a week, play a game that the guys throw together. And it's great because they're getting exercise and they're also bonding with other guys.
Exactly. And think about, when we're young, what do? We hang out with our buddies. And that's a big part of our development. As we grow older as men, we spend more time on our business and our family, and we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. That's why a lot of guys over 40 start to put on weight. They get the gut. The back starts hurting because they're not fit anymore. They don't use their bodies. Exactly. They don't use their bodies except for in the office.
Right.
And that's sitting in a chair. And that doesn't produce, that doesn't produce a healthy a person. It doesn't produce a body that continues to get healthier over time. You become, desk jockey is a term that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. And that's what your body is primed for, sitting at a desk. Then you want to go throw the ball with your kids and you wonder why your shoulder's hurting or your back's hurting. My feet hurt.
Right.
You have to involve yourself in activities and, again, connect with other men, because you get out there on the field, you start feeling good. The more things we do that bring us back to our youth, generally the better we feel, right? Look at kids. They're always happy. They're always jumping and playing. What don't we do as adults? We don't jump. We don't play. We don't laugh as much. This laughing happens when you get together with these guys. So you got to connect with other like-minded men and start having better experiences.
So there's a lot of buzz now, around, T levels and guys having their T levels checked and what foods can I eat to raise my testosterone naturally, or, how do I know when to check it, or and what's the range? Like, there's a lot of questions out there. And I know that as guys age, their testosterone levels affect a lot of things, right? Sleeping, sexual activity, building muscle if they want to go back to the gym. So what would you say are the things that men need to know about their T levels, and what can you advise them on? Like, if a guy's listening to this and he's like, I don't even know what my T level is, but I know that I'm kind of tired all the time, and when I'm in the gym I don't feel energetic.
The first thing I'll say is your lifestyle choices influence how you feel. The first signal for most men that either involves the thoughts of low T or whatever it might be is that I don't feel good. I don't feel the same vigor and thirst for life that I once had. In the gym, I feel weaker. I don't have the sex life I used to, whether I don't desire it or it just doesn't happen as often. Mm-hmm. I don't feel the drive to just go out and have fun, like even going on vacations. They'll go out and they sort of sit by the pool, watch their family play around. They just don't feel that. A lot of that is hormones. But again, it's not about jumping straight to the TRT, right? The testosterone replacement therapy.
Right.
The first thing you need to do is the most minimally invasive in regards to needles. You start with your habits, your daily activities. If you tell me that you lack energy, you're not building muscle, you don't feel fit, the first thing you need to do is start eating healthier. Because food is the foundation for which everything flourishes. So that's the first thing I'll tell you. Improve how you eat, because it doesn't matter what supplements you're taking. Yeah, they might help, but you're not optimizing.
Okay.
It's the car that has the greatest tires on it. Oh my God, I just got these racing tires. But your spark plugs are all bad.
Right.
Well, that's fine, but you're not going to get use out of those tires.
That's a good analogy.
Or if so the second thing is you need to actually exercise, right? Going outside, and some people say in the wintertime, I got my shoveling in. That's a have to do task. That is not that's not something you've dedicated towards making your body more fit, right? You've got to have a weekly routine, a daily routine. And whether that's you go out you got to do more than a walk. So it could be in your house. You might start off simple with bodyweight squats. You might start with some hip thrusts on the floor. You might start with some lunges or sit-ups, whatever it might be. You've got to investing, right? Again, speaking to my men who are involved in the business world, invest. You have to invest time in a healthy body. It's just like you invest time in changing the oil for your car to make sure it runs the way it should, right? The same thing with fitness. So you have to be conscious of the things that you're doing and not doing when it comes to T levels. Then once you have all that under wraps, okay, I'm doing my weekly exercise regimen. I am eating healthy. And if you don't know what to eat, consult a professional like myself, like Linda. You have to use your brain and make sure that you're getting the right info. It's not, okay, I'm just going to start following paleo. Okay, right. I'm just going to start doing low carb, no carb. Oh, I'm just going to do, God help me, keto, right? Which most people don't even get me started on that. But
that's another podcast.
Yeah. So don't just jump into something because you think it's right. Say, okay, financial advice. You're not just going to dump all your money into some random startup on in the stock market because, let's say they seem like maybe nice guys. No, you're going to want a track record. Okay, what's their yearly income? What's their history as far as doing well? Is their stock very volatile or is it pretty consistent? The same thing with the diet you use. Is it something that works with your lifestyle? These things are important because if it's not sustainable, you're not going to stick to it. And your T levels and how you feel is not just an acute thing, meaning you can't just follow the diet for one day. Oh yeah, I do it every once in a while. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. Oh, okay, this is my lifestyle. Okay, I get it now. It's a lifestyle change. It's a lifestyle that you're creating. Exercise is a lifestyle. Right? Once you have that down for several weeks, months, then, okay, I would be willing to bet that that's going to help you feel a little better. Mm-hmm. Then after you've done all the basics and you have them down, if you're still not feeling optimal, then we start talking about hormone replacement therapy.
Right. Because I think a lot of people, and women may do this too with hormone replacement therapy, is they run right to the doctor instead of maybe doing some of these preliminary steps before they start taking pharmaceuticals. The doctor will just prescribe something and they don't change their lifestyle. So it's kind of like they're still feeling the same way. So it's super important. I think building on top of that also is it important for men to do strength training? I mean, do guys have to lift weights? I know they say for women it's important. It builds bone density and lots of other things. So is it important for men to do strength training, and how does it benefit them from a health standpoint? Like you just touched on, exercise will help raise testosterone levels naturally. But what other things, benefits will men get from strength and working hard, really pushing some weight in the gym?
100%. A well-trained body is a generally good functioning body. Just like if someone wants to be a high-level athlete, you've got to put in work so your body is prepared to do that. Just existing on a daily basis and going to work and doing things and going for a run every so often or a walk, yeah, walking's good, but it's something you do all the time. It's not going to produce any sort of significant results as far as if you want to change your aesthetics, if you want to feel better. The biggest thing is feel better. We all want to feel better. All the men over 40 that I have as my nutrition clients and some that I train, they just want to feel good. When I sit them down when we first meet and I ask them, what are you looking to, the first thing I say is, what are you looking to accomplish? And more often than not, I hear, I just want to feel better, man. I'm tired of this pain. I'm tired of not feeling strong like I used to. I'm not saying I got to be, setting world records in the gym, but I just want to feel good. I want to be able to run with my kids and not have a knee pain. My back, my low back, it goes out every couple months and I'm in bed for 3 days.
Right.
This is something that plagues a lot of men. When I come home and my wife is wearing a nice outfit, I want to be able to take her in the bed and have fun. And again, not a lot of people like to talk about this, but this is a real problem. Again, this is where men don't talk about this stuff.
Right.
And if my sexual life gets better, I will feel better. Then my wife's happier. That makes a happier home.
Oh, absolutely.
These things are not compartmentalized. It's everything. It's like dominoes. Mm-hmm. It's all linked together. So strength training, even 3 days a week, is a good place to be.
Right. If
you don't know how or what to do, consult someone so they can help you. That's important too. One thing I know from experience is that men will always get their chest pressing in.
And bicep curls.
Exactly. But just doing chest and biceps is not enough. Yeah, I do. I have a bench at home. I get my chest pressing in a couple days a week. That's not good enough, man. In fact, it can actually create shoulder problems for you down the road if that's all you do, which I've come across plenty with men.
Why do you think, and I'm painting with a broad brush here, so guys, I'm sorry, but it's a blanket statement, and I know it's not everybody, but why do you think men don't want to train their legs? It's just because it's really hard and they're going to be really sore? Or in your opinion, I mean, I know you can't speak for everybody, but in your opinion, why do you think so many guys get in there on the weekend warriors and they're chest pressing and bicep curling in front of the mirror and then, maybe they do some sit-ups and they're out?
Yeah.
Why is it, when you see a guy really working his legs, sometimes it makes you stop and like, wow, he's working hard.
You touched on it. It's because it's easier. Beach muscles are the things you see in the mirror. Most people are wearing pants majority of the day, right? Nah, I'm not necessarily one of those people, but
he wears shorts all year round.
All year round.
And I can attest to that. I've known him for quite some time
now.
Oh,
yeah. So, beach muscles. Any model that you see in a magazine or on TV, what do you always see? Chest and abs, right? Oh, they got nice shoulders. They got nice chest, nice abs. That's all fun because you never see your back in the mirror. But what's funny is that your back actually will help you as far as health, longevity, and posture way more than your chest and biceps. And again, like I said, men never have to focus on getting their chest pressing in. They'll always do it.
Right.
I guarantee you if a guy goes back to the gym, hasn't worked out in years, what's the first thing he's going to do? Get on that chest press. Probably a chest press machine, right?
Yeah.
And some of the guys listening to this are like, yep, he's right.
Get those dumbbells doing alternating curls or whatever.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And they just, I just want to grow these arms. I want to bust out of my suit, right?
Curls for girls.
But when it comes to knee health, low back health, it's funny. Getting all the things that you want in life, which is feeling better orthopedically, and just as far as energy levels and vigor, more rely on you doing the harder things, which is the squats, the deadlifts, the rows for your back,
tough.
right?
Yeah.
And and you made a great point. Sure, if you see a guy with a nice chest, you're like, all right, okay, he's been chest pressing. When you see a guy with big legs, you're like, oh damn, he's been working.
Yeah.
Right? You stop and look, or like big calves, you're like,
well, it's respect.
Whoa.
It's respect because it's the world that we live in, and we train that way.
Exactly.
So when you notice somebody else that's got that same equipment,
exactly, and when you talk about what's actually beneficial for you, when you talk in regards to caloric expenditure, you train bigger muscles, you're going to burn more calories. You build more muscle in those larger areas, which are your butt, your thighs, your hamstrings, your back. You increase your metabolic function even greater than just doing biceps. Biceps are a very small muscle. They don't take a lot of energy to work or to train. Mm-hmm. But you talk about your thighs, that's a big muscle relative to the size of your body. That's going to take a lot of energy to use. And also, it's going to pay back in dividends when you want to go on those ski trips, right? Not have your knees hurt. Well, if you have good, strong glutes and hamstrings, that's going to help you. When you want to go for a run and you wonder why your low back's hurting. If you've done deadlifts and you're doing things like, again, posterior chain, hamstrings, glute training, and now your trunk is stronger or your core is stronger, the pain starts to go away. You become a better functioning human being. As with anything in life, the harder path is generally the one you want to take or you should take.
So what would you say, what kind of activities do you think men should be involved in to make them feel more fulfilled? I know we touched on a little bit of like hobbies and things they used to do in the past, and maybe they pick up some of those things now, but is there anything that you think they should be doing, maybe listening to a podcast that appeals to them or making sure they read a book every 2 weeks or, something? Are there other things that you can suggest that'll help a man feel more fulfilled?
Feeling more fulfilled. Okay, first thing is set goals.
Okay, good
right?
one.
Meaningful goals.
Good
I'm
one.
not talking about, make sure I watch my TV, whatever. Just something that you actually truly want to accomplish. Maybe for you, that's running an Ironman. Maybe it's, I don't know, competing in a powerlifting competition. I'm just, bringing up random things. Maybe it's...
Because everybody has something like, oh, God, I wish I could do X, or I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that. And I think people use age as a limitation, especially the niche that we deal with. Will sometimes say, oh, I can't do that now. I'm too old for that, or, or my time has passed.
Yes. So more often, those things they say are in regards to something physical.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, I used to do this, but, the back's been, the knees have been, the shoulders are. And that's because you just don't necessarily know how to maintain your body. You might know how to use it, but again, car analogy. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm a big car guy, right? You can't drive a high-performance car for 100,000 miles and not change the oil and not change the spark plugs and not change the tires. It's not going to work well. You're going to crash it, i.e. you're going to get injured, or you're just not going to feel right. Shoulder injuries, neck injuries, knee, these are all very common. Low back. The most common things I come across with men are low back, knees, and shoulders. And you have to invest the time. So activities that they should be doing. You should be, as I mentioned before, surrounding yourself with other like-minded men. Now, if you don't necessarily have a club nearby you that you can join, And the first thing I'll say is make sure you actually look. There's tons of them on Facebook. Even if you start off with just joining an online group, it could be, I mean, I have a Facebook community.
Right.
And it's just for men. We talk about men things, right? And whether that's relationships, whether it's fitness, whether it's mindset, becoming a stronger version of yourself, how to handle stressful situations, how to talk to your wife, how to tell her how you feel, how to be affectionate, different things that men need to know how to do. So if you can't meet these men in person, the next best thing is to listen. Find some men you consider mentors. And you can listen to YouTube videos. I do this every single day. I've been asked before, well, how do you stay motivated? Part of it is that, okay, some people read the Bible. I listen to the men I call mentors. And I listen to their messages ad nauseum. I never get nauseated, but and
it's very helpful.
Yeah, it's because when in order to turn something into a habit, you have to do it repetitively. The same thing with thoughts. When you start to create a new way of thinking, you have to listen to those positive and success-focused messages on a daily basis, like people read the Bible.
Right.
So I listen to them in the morning when I go on my 5:30 a.m. walks. I listen to them throughout the day when I have time, when I'm driving, because I want it to sink in deeper. And I recommend for you men that you listen to other men who you admire, who you want to be more like, or who live lives and have relationships that you identify with. Exactly.
And that's great information. What I want to ask you then, because this is a perfect segue right into the next question. You personally, what kind of men do you look up to? Who are these people? Who are these podcast people? If you want to mention their names. Also, I want to make sure you guys in the description of this podcast, Christian will put some of the pertinent information he talked about, like his community page and some other stuff. So, but who do you listen to? Who do you look up to? If you want to share their names, or
yeah. So I listen to men again who I admire what they've accomplished, their mindset, how they handle life, the type of husbands they are, the type of businessmen they are. And some of these names are Patrick Bet-David, Grant Cardone, Jocko Willink, Joe Rogan, Tim Kennedy, big Tim Kennedy fan, Brad Lee. These are guys who are their manly men, and I've always respected that, and I consider myself one. I am one. And I only want to listen to men who are purely focused on success. What's the next? Where am I going next? I don't want to hear men who are resting on their laurels and they've either made money or they've done something, they like the Al Bundy syndrome. They made that touchdown in high school and that's who they are for the rest of their lives. You start talking when they're 45. Oh yeah, but remember that touchdown in high school? It's like
living in the past, baby.
Yeah. Side note, Al Bundy is actually a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
So he's not the man that he seems to be on the show, or that he acts to be on the show.
Kudos to Al Bundy.
Yeah. And, these men I look to as leaders for me. And I'm a huge military fan. I'm a huge Special Forces guy. Linda can tell you this.
Yes, I can.
I used to listen to music when I work out, and I still do sometimes, but mainly I watch Special Forces documentaries. I watch Navy SEALs documentaries. I watch Army Rangers. I watch
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike. Oh my God, I'm a huge Mike Tyson fan.
I was waiting. I'm like, does he gonna forget Mike Tyson?
Yeah, he's,
it's a good story.
Yeah, his life was just incredible. From the bottom, living in Brownsville, Brooklyn, being a stick-up boy. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a person who robs houses and robs people. To becoming the youngest heavyweight champ in the world, and all the ups and downs that went along his life. He's a savage, and I love that aspect. So these men that they are conquerors. I have a term in my brand. It's called Take What's Yours. Mm-hmm. And what that represents is that anything in life that you want, you are in control of getting. It's not about the circumstances you're in. Well, I don't have enough money. We'll figure out a way. Right. Well, I'm getting old. That's not true. Figure out a way. No, I'm too tired. All right, well, that's fine if you tell yourself that. But the reality is you can figure out a way. Take What's Yours means I'm not going to let any circumstance or person or negative mindset hold me back from my ultimate destiny. And that is being the strongest version of yourself, and more importantly, being a great, not good, great example for others. Others being your kids, your wife, your relatives, those friends around you that you don't know you're being an inspiration to. They see you getting up, and even if it's just going on a 10-minute walk in the morning, oh, I should do that.
Right.
When you hear people say that, that means you are inspiring them. And these men inspire me. And, the military mindset of just focus on the tasks at hand and get them done, regardless of what trouble is going on in your life. And so these are the type of men that I look up to and I listen to every day, because it keeps me in the mindset of being success-focused and not worrying about the small things that don't matter.
All right. So last question, probably the most important question of this entire podcast. For the men that are listening to this that want to get more information from you, want to talk to you, maybe work with you, what's the best way that they can reach you? And then, we'll put it in the description, but let them know how they can find you.
So best way to reach me is relentlessfitnessandnutrition.com. I'm going to include the link in the description box.
Good.
And just leave me a message in the contact section. Tell me what you want to talk about. Is it that you want to get in better shape? You want to eat better? Again, I'm a nutritionist, and that's what I love to do. I want to be more fit. It could be mindset. You could tell me, look, I've been suffering from depression, man, and I'm not sure how to get myself out of this funk. I will help you.
All right.
I will help you. So, and the other thing is, even if you just want a conversation, this is the first thing I'm going to say is a lot of men are hesitant to reach out because they think they're reaching out to a salesman. I don't care about that. The only thing I care about is helping you get where you want to get in life. I don't care to make you a number. I do not care. I want to help you become a better version of yourself so that you can be better for your family. So if you want to reach out just to talk, reach out. If this message resonates with you, then reach out.
I highly recommend that as well. All right. Well, King Christian, thank you for that. That was very informative. I actually even learned some things too. So I hope this was beneficial for everyone listening, men and women, because it's important to take care of your health, male or female, over 40, over 20, over 30, whatever it is. You need to take care of yourself. So with that, thank you for listening, and we will see you on the next podcast.
Remember, take what's yours.
Touché.